I put an article out on F-Stoppers recently about being a professional photographer and whether it ruins the fun of the hobby. Does being a professional ruin photography for you? Now, for me personally, obviously not. I love what I do. But I want to talk a bit about the traits, personality type and skill set that you're going to need if you want to be a professional photographer. A lot of my friends with day jobs have a real misconception as to what it is to be self-employed. They're always doing, I'd love not to have a boss, or I'd love to be able to do what I want when I want. Right now, I'd like to be playing computer games with the kids, but I'm not. I'm here working. Next week, when I do a shoot, I have a boss on Tuesday and I have a different boss on Thursday. What I get is a different boss every day who has no reason to keep me sweet. They can there's no contract where they're stuck with me for a set amount of time. They can chop and change when they want. There's no onus on them to be friendly, particularly. Thankfully, they are, but it's not always the case. Being a photographer and being a professional photographer really needs a certain type of person. You have to be self-motivated. You have to be able to get up at 5 a.m. for no other reason than you have to get the work done. You have to be able to not go to the cafe, not go to the pub, not go out partying, and just go, right, this is what we're doing for the next 10 years. We're focusing on this career path. It is very similar to being an athlete. And I draw this comparison a lot because that's what I used to do. You have training, you have goals, you have things that you have to do to get better. Some of it you love doing, like taking the big fancy pictures, but sometimes you've got to read the physics books. Sometimes you've got to go and deal with some IT issues that are just really not that interesting. And a lot of the time, you've got to do your accounts. And it's really, really important that you've got that drive to get up and crack on with nobody sat there going, today you must achieve this, and by the end of the week you must have done this. You need to set those goals and stick to them. You also have to be able to take orders. Now, a lot of the reason a lot of photographers are not successful is because they've gone into a freelance or self-employed sort of business idea because they're not very good at doing what they're told. And they think if they're their own boss, they can do what they want. But that just isn't the case, because now you have clients who have different needs every single day and you're doing what they want. And you have to go, right, that's what they want. I don't agree, but we're doing it. I'm here to make money, to make a living. And, I do it doing my passion. Granted, it's not always exactly as I want it to be, but it's better than doing what I did before, perhaps. And with this, especially at the higher end, comes the stress and the problem-solving abilities. The amount of shoots I've had where there's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of money being spent in the room in terms of the number of people in there. You've probably got a £50,000 room a day in there, and you've got to make sure that you deliver it. And with that, you need to be able to problem solve. Your clients won't care about physics. What they want is hard, soft light, deep, soft shadows. Whatever it may be, they'll come up with all these contradictions, and you need to work out between the camera, the lighting, and the post-production how you're going to achieve that and what chain of events needs to happen, because everything is possible. But you need to work out how to do it, because every day is a new problem and a new issue that you need to solve, which you probably haven't come across before. As well as being able to work by yourself, you need to be able to work very long hours, followed by not working at all, which is actually the bit I find more difficult. Every August, the world goes silent as all of the big creative directors and art buyers take the month pretty much off. And I sit here going, I might not ever work again. And I get the stress, and every year it's the same. I go back through my previous accounts and go, no, it's fine. Last August was quiet. Next month will be manic. And being able to deal with that, followed by the 7-day week of 16-hour days and just crashing and burning and, sleeping in your car in a car park halfway to a drive to a shoot, or having a nap on the sofa because you're so exhausted you need a 20-minute power nap just to get through the rest of the editing session or whatever it may be. Don't tend to nap when clients are in here. They find it weird. And with this, whilst you're exhausted and stressed and worried about these things, you need to be a likable person. Now, not everyone's going to like everybody. Not everyone likes me. I've made my peace with that. Some people find me annoying, frustrating. They think I'm arrogant. They think I'm not self-confident enough. They think I'm too self-confident. Whatever they feel about me, they feel that, and that's fine. But you have to be generally a likable person. You have to remember that every individual knows you as a different person. So person A and person B who know you, they both know you as two completely separate people. So the only thing you can really rely on is being nice, being decent, and being helpful. And hopefully you find that natural. Don't be a cantankerous person. A lot of photographers, especially as male types and the age I'm approaching, we start to become a bit cantankerous and sort of just want everything done a certain way because it's what we do and we're men. And it's very important just to leave the ego at the door and just be like, right, I'm here to help. I'm here to get your job done. I'm here to make you look good to your boss or your client. Let's crack on with this. Let's all get along. That's very important. Now, the last point is a double whammy, and it's having self-awareness and being critical. If you think your work is great, you're not a good photographer. You should be able to look at it from a critical standpoint and go, right, here's where I am, here's where I was, and here's where the next tier is. The gap here might be 3 years. How do I get there? What do they have that I don't? Why are they getting the jobs that I'm not? Is it my personality? Is it my studio? Is it my location? Is it the pricing that I put out? What is it that they've got that I've not? Is it just that my work is not good enough? Do I not have the right taste, the right style? You need to be able to sit there and pull yourself apart and then try and work out what it is you need to do to move to that next step. And that is such an important skill. And it is often the one skill which separates the good photographers from the average ones. And having that ability to go, do you know what? My lighting is nice, but what I'm missing is this particular aesthetic of crispness just before the shadow fall off. How do I achieve that? How do I obtain that? That's what I want to be getting here. Or, my concepts are good, but the concept is good, but the content is lacking. Like the subject in front of the lens isn't the right subject. How do I take this great idea I have and move it on to the next bit? How do I go, right, what is the right subject? How do I find that? And understanding that that's the problem. Now, I hope this is of interest to some of you, and I hope it's of use either to put your mind at ease or to make sure that you're going in the right direction. If this is the sort of content you like, do hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.